Okay. All right. So I'm still trying to stay in the swing of doing about one video a week, and today I'm going to tell you about my eyes, about all of the things that are wrong with them. But I don't like saying wrong. All the things that are going on. Because if you're one of the 3 people who has watched my channel, you've probably noticed that I have a lazy eye. I don't know if I've mentioned or not things because of my disability or because of my low vision, but I'm going to talk about the conditions I have and why my eyes are the way they are. I think this is really important because judging from the number of questions I get in my normal life, this is something nobody really knows about. Like, even from eye doctors, I've had them be clueless, which they're used to, oh, what the, love mauling. They're used to working with people, now she's biting my arm, working with people who, just need glasses or maybe have a cataract or something, have a cataract. So, something we really need more awareness about, and just a warning, this is going to have a lot of technical scientific terms, so try to keep up. Sometimes I forget that not everyone deals with this every day, and not everyone knows all of the jargon. So what I have is 2 cats that are bugging the crap out of each other. No, what I have is tyrosinase positive oculocutaneous albinism. And that is a form of albinism, which means being albino. But, like, for the love of God, then all that is holy, please don't call people albino. So that's what that is. The tyrosinase positive, it means that you can make some melanin. Tyrosinase is an enzyme, has the ACE, that's how you know it's an enzyme. It's an enzyme that helps with the production and the distribution of melanin, which is the pigment that makes your skin and your hair or any other parts of you a color other than like white or clear or pink, because our blood is pink, so that's what shows through. So that's what that is. Now we know what that is. You're probably wondering now, well, no, you're probably wondering a lot of things. But the first thing you're probably wondering is, okay, what does that even have to do with your eyes? And the answer is everything. Tyrosinase and melanin, when they're in embryonic production, the thing about when the embryo is growing is there's enzymes and proteins that do things in adults, like make your pigmentation, since we're talking about that, or all these other things. They do things in adults, but then when you're in utero, they have another job that is like essential for things developing exactly how they should. So in the absence of melanin and tyrosinase, I don't know what's getting into my cats, but in the absence of those, it affects the development of the eyes. And so I have problems with my macula. I have really, really, really intense astigmatism. I have strabismus, which is the lazy eye. I've actually had I've had 2 corrective surgeries for it, but it's still not 100%, but I'm at the point where it doesn't bother me anymore, and I'm just kind of accepting it as part of my face. So there's that. What else do I have? I have nystagmus, which is like little spasms around the muscles of the eye. I said about the retina. Theoretically, I have misrouted optic nerves, which, I mean, we can't, like, without cutting open my skull, see what's actually going on in there, but it causes the optic nerves to not go where they're supposed to. And also, the cool thing, and this is another way that not having the correct pigmentation can affect the sight, is your retina is dark on the inside, and the reason why that is, it's so when light goes into your eye, it doesn't like reflect and scatter and get all blurry. So if it's pink on the inside and light, like mine is, then it can't focus. So basically, I've listed off all of these things that are going on with my eye. And here's something I should have said at the beginning, that also a lot of people realize: blindness is a spectrum. And and there's like different things that can go on with your eye. There's refractive errors. Good Lord, my cats. Refractive errors, which are ones that can be corrected by your corrective lenses. And out of all those things I've listed, only the astigmatism and the nearsightedness, I'm blanking on the technical term, I think it's myopia, but only those are the only ones that can actually be corrected by your glasses or contacts. So even though I wear glasses, and even though I have an artificial lens in my left eye, it's like what they do for cataract surgery, because I used to have, my eyes are like so different that I used to have like one Coke bottle lens, and that was just a nightmare. So those are the only things that can be corrected. All those other things, nothing can fix that. So like that's how I can still wear glasses and still have really bad vision, which brings me to my next point, which is, what is it like seeing through my eyes? I get asked this a lot. My response is, I usually ask the person who asked it, what's it like seeing through your eyes? You've always seen the way you see, unless, well, I don't know, unless like you had an accident and lost sight or something like that. But my point is, you're trying to get me to describe something that has been my normal since the day I was born. So I'm just like, I don't know. Anyway, my acuity, I don't remember the exact number. I don't remember the exact number of my prescription and my glasses, but my acuity, it's right on the cusp of being legally blind. Again, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's floating right around there, sort of. Because the way that the qualification for it works is there's an acuity in your better eye that needs to be worse than a certain cutoff with corrective lenses. If anyone ever tells you that they're legally blind without their glasses, they're wrong, because that's not what that means. They may have really poor vision, but like that's not what that means. Unless, and this is where I kind of fit into it, unless you've had an eye doctor say that there's other things with your field of view or your depth perception or any other things that might affect your vision, because I have extremely limited peripheral and no depth. So, oh, I meant to do this earlier. I'm going to switch over to my other glasses, because this is another thing where, and when I'm not wearing glasses, that's really when you can see that my left eye just kind of goes and just does what it wants. This is the other thing that I think people need a lot more awareness for. These are my other glasses. It's called a bioptic lens. I have a lot of people ask me if this is like Google Glass or a camera or something, but no, it's because I'm blind. Like, this is for looking at like a spot, like a sign or something. And these are the glasses I wear if I'm in an unfamiliar place where I would, need to look around myself a little more, or like at the airport when I was in college. It was really useful to have in a big lecture class, because otherwise there was no way in the hell I'd be able to see from the back of the classroom. And also for driving. Yeah, Mr. Magoo was learning how to drive. It only took me until I was 28 years old. And that's a whole other thing with the low vision driving and the extra steps you have to go through, which was really fun because I had to do teen driver's ed as a 28-year-old. And I have to rant for a little bit because I have so many feelings about doing driver's ed as an adult. Like, I had to. The 30 classroom hours for that, and instruction with a special instructor who knows how to teach you how to use one of these things and can assess you to send your stuff into the DDS medical review board. In addition to, learning in the car, you have to do the driver's ed, which I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I only couldn't stand it because it wasn't like a special for learning how to drive. It was just, this stuck me in the classroom with a bunch of 16-year-olds. The light changed because, now I actually look albino because the sun came out and I'm all washed out. They put me in a room with a bunch of 16-year-olds, and the only other adult was the instructor, and it was just like the awkwardest 30 hours of maybe the past 5 years of my life. Not of my entire life, but of recently. So that was fun. I should have had like a list of things I wanted to talk about, because now I'm kind of losing track of what I've said, what I haven't said, and what I want to say. I could talk a little bit more about how it affects other things. My eyes have a really hard time focusing. That's partly because of the retinas and the nystagmus. So it's really fun reading. I read like this close, and that begs a lot of questions of, why are you reading that close? And my answer is usually, why do you think? I always like answering why questions with that. That's how you can tell I work with kids, because a lot of times I say, why do you think? Why do you think that is? Use that brain a little bit. And the fun thing with that is, yes, I have tried reading glasses and magnifying lenses and all kinds of assistive technology and large print books and blowing up the font, but the thing is, I always go back to the smaller font, reading it this close, because that's how I learned how to read. And that's what feels normal for me. Like, out here, this feels awkward. This is comfortable. So this is what I do. Final points. Since you've probably heard all this and you wonder, you don't look albino, or any of that, or you don't look like you're disabled. There's a lot of things going on that you can't tell from looking at a person. First of all, it's like I said, I do make some melanin, just not very much, and not in my eyeballs. And oh, this is an important one for the you don't look albino topic. Lighting and coloration, this keeps changing and it's all weird. So take these off for a second. Look at my eyeballs. They're blue. And that is because humans don't get pink eyes. Well, they get pink eye, but only if they get a conjunctivitis infection. They don't have pink eyes like all white rabbits and mice and squirrels. And even if you have the full tyrosinase negative albinism, sometimes there might be a little pinkish purplish tinge in it, but it's generally a very light blue or gray. And that's the cool thing for that is blue is the null state for human eyes. Blue is every time it wobbles like that, that's a cat hopping off and on the table. So in case anyone was wondering, there's not an earthquake here, at least not right now. Blue is the null. Blue is what color your eyes are when there is no pigment in them. And then brown is if there's a lot of pigment. Hazel or green is if there's a little bit, but it's kind of mixing with the blue. The blue is like, it's like a crystal, I think is the best way to describe it, for the shapes of the little parts of your irises. They like reflect the light, and so depending on the shapes of it, it can be like different shades of blue or gray. And sometimes with people with tyrosinase negative albinism, you can kind of maybe see through the retina a little bit of pink or purple, but it's not like you're all white bunny rabbit. So I think that was long enough. I think I said everything I wanted to say, and I hope I didn't get too sciencey and confusing, but that is it. Happy Friday, and I think this is going to be my new little sign-off thing is stay safe and have fun, and I'll think of something different to talk about next week. Bye!